Doing a ride out here, a little bit outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's called Golden Open Space. This is going to be my first ride on my Evil, the Offering, size medium. And this is the SLX XT build with the DVO diamond fork set at 150 mil. And I'm running the Santa Cruz Reserve 30 carbon wheel set. And there's nothing real technical about riding these trails. It's kind of like foothill trails. Good bit of climbing. And this bike with these wheels and a couple of minor upgrades like a bar and a stem is 31.2 pounds ready to ride. So hopefully we'll just get it out on a ride and see how it does. Bike's feeling good. The DVO fork might be a little firm in the mid-stroke, but other than that, the bike feels great. Tons of rear end traction, so that's nice and welcome. Climbing, the position feels really neutral for me so far. I'm riding a medium and I'm 5'11". I usually ride large frames. For my other bikes, I have a Trek Slash and a Santa Cruz Tallboy, and both those bikes are larges. But this bike, being a medium, actually the reach is longer than my other two bikes, and it feels really good. The guys at Evil swore up and down that I was a medium, so I took their word for it, and I bought the bike without ever riding it. And it feels great so far. And this bike is running a Monarch Super Deluxe rear shock, and from my best measurement I set the sag at about 28%, which seems to be what most people think is the best sag number for these Evil bikes. And it feels like a very firm platform to pedal against for sure, but right away you can tell it feels more active than, let's say, my my VPP bike, my tall boy. And also the rear tire traction is remarkably good. I'm quite happy and quite surprised that this medium frame kind of fits me as good as it does. I was worried about that. The bike corners really well. Don't know if that's the bike or the DBO Diamond, but just feels like it just turns in so nice and balanced. See how much of this travel we use. So on the fork, I'm probably, I don't know, 60%. In the rear shock, about the same, about 60%. It might be set up a little bit firm. Feels a little firm. Here we start some climbing. We got a little bit of a climb, probably, I don't know, maybe half a mile up to the top. If I remember right, it's been a while since I rode this trail. It's a decent amount of exposure and fairly loose. Feeling the weight of this bike a little bit compared to my normal. I ride my tall boy more than I ride anything else, and that bike weighs 28 pounds, and I think this bike is a little bit over 31. This bike really does put you in a very good position for pedaling with this very steep seat angle that Evil designed into this bike. I think it's 77 degrees. My wife has a Evil following MB. She's not on it today, but I've ridden her bike and the seat angle is quite a bit slacker than this bike. I think it's 74, something like that. Still pedals pretty darn good. But this bike, I wouldn't say pedals better. It's just the position feels a little better. Especially for me, I don't have a ton of leg strength, so I typically scoot way up on my saddle to get as much leg power. In this bike, I don't really feel I need to do that. And it's very noticeable as soon as you sit on the bike. And definitely a more scooched forward position. The front end doesn't float or drift at all. Like on my Slash, for instance, it's got a ridiculously slack seat angle. You almost have to get off the saddle to make steep climbs with that bike. And the front end does float and drift quite a bit. But that bike is also my park bike. I don't do a lot of climbing on it. And it also climbs really good for Big Travel 29er. But the seat angle is kind of silly. And that's the main reason I bought this offering, was the seat angle and the fact that I think the 130 to 140 travel range is really the sweet spot of bikes for most of the riding, at least that I do. I was going to copy my wife and buy a following, but when I heard that they were going to release this bike, then I had to wait for it to come out. The bike's climbing really well. Just the grip is really awesome with that rear tire. You can just feel that rear tire like kind of sinking in, sagging in, and giving you grip. It's very cool. Nice and slippery and off camber. Not the best descending trail in the world. Not much grip. A little wet right there, believe it or not. Woohoo, cliff. Lots of little tree branches that'll grab you. Pretty cool though, not bad.
And then deleting it.
And then deleting it.
You don't mind, do you? No, I got it this time.
Yeah.